Welcome back to our training session with Major, our 4-year-old tip Mustang from Diamond Hills. In this session, we are going to introduce the idea of leading. So if you've watched the previous videos up to this point, first we introduced him simply to touch, our presence, and our tools. In the second session, we got him moving, changing direction, introduced him to some of the basic principles of haltering and yielding, and then we actually got a halter on him. Now it's been a few hours through the day. It was a little warm, so we had to wait till it cooled down for the evening. And we are back in the pen. We're going to approach him, see what he remembers, and then go for the leading. Hi, buddy. So everything we do, very passively, kind of reviewing the previous session, see where he is mentally. What do you think? What do you think? You want to touch? Oh, very nice. Very nice. You can see how he progresses a little faster at each stage. We just don't want to jump into it too quickly. Good boy. Good. Yeah. Make sure I can actually reach up under there without him feeling threatened. Okay, very nice. So he's ready for the rope. Now I'm not going to approach him with a big bulky rope. I'm just going to take the end of it, maybe hold the other end behind me, let him sniff it just like we did the halter earlier, because he sees I've got something different. What do you think? You want to see that? Huh? And then once I decide to clip it, I just go in and clip it. Don't make a big deal about it. Good. Now before I move on from here, I want to explain and forewarn. I never know how a horse is going to react the first time they realize their head is caught. Remember, he's a wild horse. So in his brain, having his head caught is a life-threatening situation. Some of them take right to it and continue following us like he did earlier without a halter, and others completely panic. So the second note to that is I want you to notice how I use the pressure and release concept. No matter what he does, I continue the pressure until he gives me some sort of attempt, whether it be looking at me, facing up to me, stepping, something in there, then I release. Probably the most critical part of this lesson is your timing. So your timing on release has to be correct. If you release at the wrong time, you may actually teach them to be reactive. So we'll see how he reacts to this. I prefer to use a long lunge rope. This is a yacht line rope. It's about 20 feet long, and it just allows me quite a bit of a buffer. So if he needs to move out to feel less panicked, that's okay. I can still keep my pressure on. So I usually start a little further away. And if you'll recall from our previous session, I mentioned how it's a lot easier for a horse to resist when you're squared up head on. So I typically introduce pressure from the side. Remember that arc I like to do. It's not quite so easy to resist, but he starts to feel that halter pressure on him. So there's a little bit of pressure, not too much. And I want to see some type of give in my direction, something to show he's thinking about it. I'm not going to apply too much pressure, but it's just a nice steady pressure, and I'm going to continue walking toward. Good boy. Try the other side. Come on. Moving the back foot doesn't count. Front foot counts. There we go. So he's actually taking this lesson quite nicely. I really like this horse. He just hasn't shown any tendency to panic. He's got a good thinking brain on his shoulders. Good boy. When you become very consistent at releasing that pressure the moment they give you an attempt in your direction, then they want to give that response faster and faster. And you'll see here, he'll actually start following me before I even apply pressure soon here, because he doesn't want the pressure, and that's okay. That's normal. We've asked him to learn to be more sensitive, so he is. There we go. See, hardly any pressure at all. This is quite literally an ideal response and not what I expected. You can see he hesitates because he's not used to this. So in a way, we're actually doing some kind of muscle memory training. We're building a new habit. Feel pressure and give. This introduces new concepts that he's never really thought about. Good boy, look at you. Such a good boy. We'll see if he'll take a step a little straighter without the arc, but you'll see how it's easier for them to lean on it when you do that. So I'll give him just a couple seconds, and if he doesn't, I'm going to walk in my arc. Get his neck. There we go. Good job. Good job. What I'm doing here is taking the pressure a little away from his nose and putting it more behind his ears. So where my position is pulling from is changing where he's feeling that pressure on his face. Good boy. Good boy. Look at you. You act like an old pro here, huh? Okay. All right, let's see if we can lead a little bit. Good boy. Good boy. You'll see a lot of pressure and release here. I want to see if I can get him walking a bit. Good, good. Licking and chewing, always a good sign. He's processing that information. Come on. Good. Good boy. Good boy, come on. Okay, I'm picking up the pace a little bit. I'm asking him to think a little faster, follow me a little faster. I want him to start to get in his mind that if he just follows me, I won't even apply pressure. He's giving a little resistance there. He's trying other directions. That's okay. I'm not going to release until he's looking at me. Good. There you go. Good boy. Nice step. Okay, so now we're going to do something totally foreign, but we're going to start bringing these concepts together. An advantage of my nice long line is I can allow him to move out there. So I'm going to ask him to move away from me, move his feet a little bit, and then draw him back in a little faster than what he might have done previously. Wrong way. Good, good. All right, that was a complete newbie mistake, so we're gonna do that again. Come here. Come on, come on. Good, good. Come here, come back in the middle. Come back in the middle. Good boy. Okay. All right, so we're going to ask him to move off. Nice loose rope. Now he's a big boy, so if he pulls on the rope too hard, I may just have to go with him until he relaxes, because I'm certainly not going to outpull him. I'm going to use the rope to stop him. There. So instead of using my hands as an invitation this time, or my other cues, I apply pressure with that rope and halter. We'll do both sides. He feels this rope moving around on his head. It's a little confusing for him, so I have to be careful not to pull on it until I'm ready. Good boy. Good boy. All right, try it again. Try. Come on. Good. Good boy. Come on. So you can see we kind of took a step back in terms of the pressure because I had him running. So now he thinks he needs to be out there. I've got to remind him it's okay to be in here. I'll just kind of let him think through it. I'm looking for one little step. That one by walking my arc, but it reinforced what we taught him a few minutes ago. I have to send them out to move their feet, but I want their brains to be centered on me here in the circle, and I want him to want to be in here. So I bring them back in as often as I can. Good boy. Good, very good. He's getting lighter again. Very nice. You creeping up here? Let's try to turn a circle. Good boy. Good boy. Not so sure about the rope on the ground. Good. Good. Don't worry about that. Just focus on me. Good boy. Keep moving. There you go. I like that. Good. He thought about running and then he corrected himself. Good choice. Good boy. Very nice. All right. Good. You're okay. We're going to remind him that the stick is friendly. Nothing to be feared. Just a tool I use if he's not responding. All right? It's good for scratches. Yes, it is. You stepped on it. Now I can't do much. You're standing on it. All right, now we're going to go back to circles. Wrong way. Wrong way. Wrong way. There you go. on, a little purpose. If you recall our first session out here, when we were getting him ready for the halter, he's moving with a lot more energy now, and he's so much more sensitive. All those early lessons prepare him for that. Good. Good. So he keeps thinking about moving off, and that's really just because he's anticipating that I'm going to move him off again. So I'm going to change my mind and say, nope, I'm going to call you in, and we're going to pet on you. Whenever he thinks he knows what I'm going to ask, I'm going to change it up. I want him to listen to me and focus, not try to guess. Good, good, good. See there? It's more fun to stand here and get scratches, isn't it? Yeah. So much more fun. Good boy, good boy. Very nice. Oh, you're okay. Yeah, I didn't do your head first, huh? Change that up on you. Good job. All right, we'll do a little more of the ropes that we did earlier. See if he remembers that. I like to keep him thinking. It's kind of like doing math. You know, you can get in great cardiovascular condition. You can go jog a whole marathon, but then you can sit down and do math in a classroom and you're almost as exhausted as after a marathon because it's mentally taxing. And that's not something that you increase a whole lot with practice. So, speaking in the very basic terms. So, as a formerly wild horse, this guy has far more endurance than I ever will. He can run 25, well, not run, but he can move 25 miles in a day. I can't do that. But I can outthink him. So if I simply stimulate his mind, it'll wear him down faster than just trying to run him around the pen. Keep him on his toes, keep him thinking, keep him wondering what I'm going to ask for next, but always with enough friendliness and attention like this, relaxing, that he doesn't become too overly sensitized and spooky about it. It's really a careful balance. Good boy. Do you think that was a fly? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, back on the rail. Good. I didn't send him out with as much energy that time. If he wants to walk this time, I'm okay with that. I just want his feet to move a little bit. You can see now he's starting to want to be in here. He keeps asking to come back. There you go. Good. Okay. Now you can come in. Come here. Keep moving. You stopped. Keep moving. There you go. This time around, he hasn't given me a true give. It was more a cheat, so I didn't release that pressure. There we go. He's got his focus on those other horses at the moment. There, that's what I'm looking for. Good. Nope. He's trying to turn away, so if he wants to leave, we'll let him, but only when I decide, and we'll remind him why he wants to be in here and rest. We'll just let him circle a couple times. Yep. There you go. All right. See if he wants to rethink it all. Now this time, he's actually being resistant, so I increased my pressure with some bumps to the halter there. Good. Remember, I can't outpull this guy, so what I'm doing is upping my pressure to an uncomfortable bump, which is harder for him to resist than a steady pressure. Good. Now that's very typical. At some point, they kind of hit a roadblock and they want to go backwards. I'll see that usually 2 or 3 times in a session like this. And that's where I simply maintain that pressure until he gives and relaxes, and then I release. It's all the same principle of pressure, release, and timing. Just leave him alone and let him think for a minute. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Keep coming. Keep walking. Come on. A little bit of resistance here. This is where I'll often see a new adopter get tired of holding the pressure and then they release the pressure. The horse will then learn to pull back on your line. It's critical here that you maintain that pressure until the horse relaxes. Remember, a horse learns on the release of pressure. So when he gets release, he knows he's done the right thing. That was an attempt, sort of, but really it was kind of a cheat. He came in the right direction, but he is not relaxed. That's why I didn't let go of that time. I thought he was going to do it. Good. Okay. There was a yield, and he gave his head. You'll actually feel the tension back off on the rope when they really give versus just kind of cheating and going with it. Come on, there we go. Almost. Not quite as good as I wanted. Okay, so at this stage, he's just hit a point of resistance, so I'm going to add a little incentive for him to want to turn and stay with me with his head and thereby his body. So what I'm going to do is just speed up the pace back and forth. He can't really resist that pull right at the end. He gets plenty of warning that it's coming, but it's happening quicker. There. You saw how he gave a lot faster. He didn't let me get to the hard pull. Good. There we go. No hard pull there. He's getting the idea. Good boy. No pull at all on that one. He said, I don't like that game. Good. You're okay. You're fine. We'll just be friendly for a minute. Good job. Although it's a little tiring, that little exercise is nice with a big horse like this. It's not nearly as easy for them to resist pressure when it's sudden and their head's bent. It's not going to hurt him at all, though. It just kind of surprises him. And when he gets tired of being surprised, he starts to follow and do it on his own. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Good boy. There we go. He's starting to widen his circle out a little and think about staying with me. Good. Good. So he's got the idea. I'm not being quite as easy on him now. He knows what's coming. He knows what I want. And if he resists, I'm going to make it a bit uncomfortable. Remember, we have to be that mare in the herd that says move, and I want him to say, okay, no problem. There you go. There you go. So his little arc is getting wider here, which is nice. He's following me more. Good boy. Come on, keep going. Good. You want to change direction? Good boy. So this is roughly 20 minutes into this third session with this horse. And we've taken a horse that's never been touched, never been haltered, never had any work whatsoever. And by the third session, in about 20 minutes here, we've got him haltered and understanding the basics of leading. We didn't have to race him around a pen. We didn't have to get him all sweaty. Now, that's not to say it doesn't occasionally happen. For flightier horses, horses that have a lot of tension, sometimes I don't have a choice but to run them more. And in the future, we'll offer one of those videos. This guy is definitely mellow, but the same principles apply. So if I don't have to run him, I would rather just have him with me as soon as he learns that that's what's the best thing for him. So we've made a lot of progress with him, and he just arrived yesterday. Right, big guy? Not such a bad life, huh?